Well, everybody, here we go. I'm going back into this to take a look at what needs to be done. And my first step is to grab two brushes. I'm using I think this is a 10 and a 6. And between the two of them, I do this thing, and I know I've talked to you about it a few times, where I wet the brush and then I dab it off, and then I start to connect values and colors. So that's what I'm doing. I'm starting with that. To me, that's where the magic begins. And this is just where I'm lightening up, because this seems to be a little harsh. I prefer a softer transition. And I missed it a little on this green, but look how nice that's lifting. Then I'm gonna add a little water and go back in to add more color. But in the meantime, let's do a little of this blending. And I like all that. I like that a lot, but I don't want to be so outlined. So I'm just softening up there a little bit. It doesn't need to be so illustrative. We really don't want to be illustrative. We want to be more painterly. So where the green got into the yellow, I'm going to lift some of that out. The paper is stained just enough for me to go back in, see where everything was, and firm it up. But to me, that just looks a little more painterly than what it did. Last week, I worked on the plate. And so I am going to darken up down here. But first, I'm just going to soften this right here. You know, this is such an enjoyable part of the painting process right here. Going back in and starting this way really serves me and my style well. I know it's not for everybody, but just softening, blending, clarifying, this feeds my soul. So I'll just mention that. Still softening and looking for places where it makes the most sense. You know, I am coming forward with this table, and we know that because it's up front and everything is moving to the back. However, once again, I don't want to be too decorative nor too illustrative. So back to some of these areas where I can soften and blend a little bit, you know, and the leaves are still there. Of course, I'm going to grab that before it runs down the page, or I mean, you know, down the painting. And back over here, now I did miss some leaves here. I've got to go in and study that a little bit. Last week I blended in here. I'm very happy with that. I could do just a little bit of blending here and see how it just takes them back and brings these forward. And it allows me to go back in where I need to. So this is my first step going back in, and I have to tell you, I really think the magic is doing this type of work. So over here, I know I need a little more work over here. I'm still using the big brush. These back here, these areas are just a little more, you know, they have a little more green in them versus, and of course this leaf needs to get darker right in here. I've got to come back in there, and I said that earlier, I've got to come back in there and work. I am connecting shapes and values. Once again down here. You know, this is, I just thought of this. This is something you want to do with an older brush. Because what I'm doing is I'm using the point, and this will age a brush. So let me go to an older brush. I want you to see this has been a scrubber. Oh, a scrubber's the wrong word. A blending brush. It's also larger, so it's going to hold more water. It's a better choice. And now I can really hit it over here. I'm holding on to that cat, but by doing this, I'm taking everything back. I think I'm going to go over these areas too. I don't want anything running down the painting, and even that area. I don't really want it to stick out as much as it was. So, with that being done, I can come around and bring some of this down, and this is a better brush for doing this kind of work. I'm checking my values. I'm also going to go over here, and just where that could get a little lighter, I'm doing that too. So I'm going to stop right here and tell you that definitely, in my mind, this is where the magic happens, where we are adjusting. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stop right there.